Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well. I am going to be sharing my screen. For today's presentation, we will be covering the job searching process, including resume writing as well. This will be a concise, comprehensive guide on the job search process from preparation to securing a position. When it comes to preparation, it's very important for us to take some time out our days and so reflect into what we really want. It is important to identify the career opportunities that you might be interested in, and you do this by identifying your strengths, skills, interests, and values, as well as reviewing your past working experience and see if you can align your experience to the career field that you are intended to get involved in or go to. When it comes to reflection or preparation, it is very important to do personality tests, career assessments, if uncertain about what you are interested in doing in the future. I also recommend doing multiple internships and getting involved in different areas so that you can get an idea or get a sense of the things that you might be interested in. When it comes to the job application process, it's important to, you know some key steps that will make that process so much easier for you. The first step for you to find a job is the job searching aspect of it. You need to look for job openings through job boards, company websites, or networking, right? I am going to provide you with an example. Let's say I am interested in working retail and I'm interested in working at West Farms, right? I can search up retail jobs, West Farms. And let's see, West Farms small jobs. Well, this one's not giving me access. That's weird. I think it's my Wi-Fi. Let me search up Apple. Apple jobs hiring. Look at here. It says careers. Why is my Wi-Fi not working? Let me go to another page. Let's see. Okay, I go to Apple Careers. It shows you this intro, just great. Work at Apple. If you click in this bar, and then it shows you the different specialties or roles that you might be able to get involved in if interesting. Just look at the sales and business development aspect of it. And it shows you where the jobs might be available. So it says Apple Store sales. It says US business expert. Look at that. So it shows you the position and also the places where they're hiring as well. And this depends on the specialty that you chose. Let's continue. After that, obviously for you to be able to submit your application, you have to review what are some of the requirements of this job. Let's see if I can find another position. Let's look for retail jobs. Let's see. Let's do it in Safari because for some reason I don't have access with my Wi-Fi. I don't know. Let's see. Safari. Wow. Retail. Let's see. Retail jobs, Hartford. Let's see. Dollar Tree. You see how it has all the qualifications and responsibilities. So you can get an idea of this, right? So let's see. Dollar Tree is currently looking for a sales floor associate. So it needs general math skills to allow for cash accounting, verbal communication skills, responsibility. You'll be responsible for assisting with the complete operations of assigned stores, assist in merchandising of the store, and all those things, right? And so on. It provides you more responsibilities and also gives you the job description. Hmm. Depending on the job, some of them request you to have certain years of experience within the industry. So always take a look, obviously. So reflect, think about the jobs that you're interested in. Then you look at the jobs available, and then you look at the requirements, responsibilities, and when if you see that you meet them, then that's when you submit your resume and cover letter tailored for the job posting. So a resume is a piece of paper or documentation that shows your contact information, the past job experience, which can include internship, volunteering work, any certifications, or awards that you might have received, obviously aligned with the position that you're applying for. And a cover letter is also a one-page document that accompanies your resume when applying for a job or internship. It introduces your employer. It introduces you to your employer. It highlights your relevant skills and experiences and explains why you're a good fit for the position. A strong cover letter should always be tailored to the job, showcasing your enthusiasm and how your background aligns with the company needs as well. After that, then the application screening process happens. So that's when the employer reviews the application and eliminates the candidates that do not apply or do not have all the requirements needed. So let's think about this. You look for the job, you submit your application, and then the person, the hiring manager, is usually the people that's reviewing your application, right? And then next, let's say that you got past the next round, then that is the interview round, right? So it can be nowadays, it can be a phone call, video interview to assess your basic qualifications. It might also be in person, depending on the location as well. And also depending on the job position, you might have to do more than one interview. The one interview, for example, if you're applying to be the police chief of the state of Connecticut, right? Most likely you're going to be interviewed for by multiple people, and that can be in a panel interview. So that is when multiple people interview at a time. Then you have the reference check. So that's when your employer or hiring manager contacts the provided references to verify your qualifications and experience. So the references are just people that you put or you added in your resume for like recommendations. So it's usually a coworker or your past supervisors that you have worked for before and that you had a good experience with, right? You will never want to put somebody as your references that don't like you as a person or that you had to quit earlier because of, poor performance or something like that. And something to keep in mind is that when you're providing a list of references, those references, meaning the people, like those contacts, they need to be aware that you're adding them as a references and also the job that you're applying for as well. So that way, when the hiring manager of the company that you applied for contacts them, then they're aware of who they are and the things that they need to say. And now it comes a part of the job offer. So that's when, if selected, a formal job offer is extended to you and it outlines or, gives you a description of salary, benefits, which can include insurance or insurance or retirement funds or any other benefits, and that you can accept or negotiate the terms before accepting. And then onboarding process is after you accept, you begin the orientation, the training, introducing you to your new co-workers. Now let's talk about the different job strategies that is key for you to find a job. The first one is to tailor your resume. As mentioned before, you need to customize your resume for each job, highlighting relevant skills and experiences. It's important to network. As you know, it is what you know, but it's also who you know. So it is important for you to connect with professionals in your industry or the field that you're intended to get into. That can be through LinkedIn, which is a platform of professional networking where you can meet different people, different professionals, or networking events, which can be conferences or any other event similar. You can also, oh, please make sure to always follow up after submitting an application, and that can be with a polite email. It can short and concise to express continued interest in the position. And always make sure to prepare for the interview. This is key. No matter how small the organization that you're applying for is, you should always be prepared for the interview and also research the company. Um, because what if in the interview they ask you, so what is the area that you like the most about this company? And you don't know anything about the company, and the reason why you applied is because you need the job, right? That's another good look. So always making sure that you practice, that can be on your own or with another person, research the company or organization, and please take advantage of the different resources that are out there. For some of them, I know there's some apps or websites that you can utilize to practice your interviewing skills. And always keep in mind that a well-crafted resume is your first impression with potential employers. And as I always say, first impressions are irreversible, meaning that you can only make one first impression. So if your resume is not fit or, not done correctly, then you already made that impression and there's no going back, right? So make sure that a strong resume opens, keep in mind that a strong resume opens a door to interviews, making it crucial to make a positive and lasting impression right from the start. So as mentioned before, you need to tailor your resume, meaning that you need to customize your resume for each application, align your skills and experiences with the job application. Um, and use keywords related to the field or industry that you're a part of, right? So let's say if you're a mechanic, obviously in your resume, you're gonna have some, I don't know, mechanic parts or mechanic responsibilities in it. But if you're a doctor, you're gonna have to use that medical vocabulary, right? It's important for you to also highlight your achievements. So focus on your achievements, not just your duties. It's important to include any awards, certifications, or significant projects. So let's say I am applying for a lifeguard position, right? I did some EMT training. I am CPR certified, first aid certified. So those are things that I would like to include since I'm applying for a, lifeguard position, right? Like they need to know that I am certified in all of those things. I can resuscitate a person if needed. So it's important to always make sure that everything is relevant and aligns with the job descriptions, right? It's important to keep it concise. You should always limit your resume to one page. Even now that you are in high school, usually if somebody has, 10, 15 years of experience, so they can be, 2 pages. They have to have an extensive level of experience for it to be more than one page. Just because we want to make sure that employee can get a sense of who you are in a few seconds. They usually don't spend more, I don't think 15 seconds reading your resume. So that is important. Make sure that you use bullet points to make it easy to read. We don't want to read an essay. We don't want to see run-on sentences. We don't want to see 5 pages, right? We want to make sure that we can see it, we can read it in a fast pace and bullet points, right? And put the most relevant information at the top as well. Make sure that you use a professional formatting, meaning that you're using a clean, easy to read font. That can be Arial or Calibri. Maintaining consistent formatting, margins, so spacing. Include clear headings such as education, experience, volunteering, skills, and so on. Avoid any generic language, such as, hardworking team player. Don't use the same phrases that everyone else uses. Being a little more creative while also staying in the professional. So be specific about your skills and experiences and exclude any irrelevant information. We don't want to see any pictures. We don't want to see any other irrelevant graphics. We don't want to see your age. We don't want to know if you're single. We don't want to know your weight. We don't want to know your height. Those are things that should not be included in a resume. And avoid any outdated skills of experience. So let's say I am applied for a doctor position and I worked washing dishes when I was 14, and that happened 20 years ago. Should I include it because it's a work experience? No. Why? Because it's not relevant to the position that I'm applying for. If I was applying for a restaurant, then okay, it might fit, right? But as a doctor, then you don't want to apply to, something that you did 20 years ago that was not even related to it. There's an example of how it looks like. So your resume has to have your contact information, that is your full name. The address, it's not your entire address, it's only the city and state, and that way they know, where you live, where you're located. So that way they can see like the distance from the company. Your email address is also included. Please make sure that this is a professional email, meaning that it doesn't say Shorty3321. No, this is Valerie Fernandez. It always has to include your first name and last name. That can be your entire name and the initial of your last name, right? So it has to be professional email, and also a good phone number for them to be able to reach out to. Please make sure that you also have a professional voicemail, setup. Just because we don't want to, let's say you already went through you already submitted your application and you're waiting for them to reach out to you either through email or a phone call, right? And they call you and unfortunately you are not able to pick it up, and it sends you straight to the voicemail. And the voicemail that you have set up is very vulgar. You try to be funny, but it just sounds so professional, right? So I can tell you that based on that voicemail, they're not even going to be leaving you a message, right? Or call you back again. So please make sure to be professional in that aspect. With education, make sure that you put your, start date, which includes the month and the year, expected graduation date, your high school name, and the city, state. Um, Here are some of the common skills that you might be able to include. There's a difference between soft skills and hard skills in resume. Soft skills are, interpersonal skills such as, communication, collaboration, and all of those things. Hard skills are skills that are usually achieved or acquired through training or certification. For example, the CPR first aid certificate, that would be a hard skill, right? For professional experience, always put your, the start date. So that is the month and the year, and the end date, which is the month and the year again, the name of the organization or company that you're working for, the state and the city and state, the position, and also the list of the duties performed. Um, all of the duties always have to be in a action verb, and it has to be either in past tense or present tense. So let's say for this example, this person is not currently working anymore, right? Because if that person was currently working at that job, it would have said July 2024 and then slash dash present. But this person only worked there for a month, right? So that means that that is past. So all the words need to be in past tense. But let's say if it was July 2024 dash present, then it wouldn't say attended, but attend weekly workshops or engage in developing skills, right? So it has to be in present tense. And make sure that those responsibilities are also aligning or, similar to the responsibilities listed in the job posting. You can do the same thing for volunteering experience, the same format. For the awards and certifications, the same thing. So that's the year, the organizations that they give it to you, the city, state, and the award title. And that's it. But let me show you an example. And this is something that I'm going to be providing to you through email so you can get an idea of it. You see, you have your first name and last name, email, phone number, city, state, the summary of skills. So it says this person has writing skills, video editing skills, communication skills, interpersonal skills, active listening skills, the professional experience. He included his internship experiences because he's still in high school. So he did an internship with the First Responders Youth Academy. So you see, it has a start date, finish date, always a month and the year, right? Oh, the name of the organization, the city and state, the position, and then what he did, right? So he directly interact. You see, this one is in present tense, but it's in past tense, right? So he directly interacted with the first responders through a series of educational hands-on training sessions and live demonstrations. Great. And you see the other one contributed, right? Great. And so on. He did the same format for the rest for the volunteering. You see how organized that looks? It's easy to read. It's not more than two sentences. It's usually a sentence, right? It has extracurricular activities. If you have extracurricular activities, please make sure to include it as well. It has education, right? So I was 2022 present, achievement first high school, high school diploma, right? And all of those things. So you can follow these as an example. Okay. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions, any concerns. These are some things that I'm gonna send you to you through email.